Growing up in the same city my entire life comes with its pros and cons. I know the place from front to back, but life gets pretty repetitive after a while, especially in a city as small as Wellington. For today, and today only, you, me, and my comically small microphone are going to take a trip down memory lane where I show you the places I grew up and the memories I have there. Let's go! Hello! Isn't this nice lighting? Love. Anyways, you may be able to tell I'm not on top of a mountain. The reason for that being is because after I had trekked tremendous heights to get up onto those hills, I had recorded a whole video of me talking about that significance of that spot and how much it means to me and all the fun memories I have. When I listened back to the audio, all you could hear was wind. You could barely hear me talking. And so if this does the same thing, I'm going to be really, really angry. So Mount Kaukau is a significant spot in Wellington. I have so many lovely memories of going up there when I was younger and exploring, even just by myself. Like when I was bored, I'll just go and explore Mount Kaukau. It's got 360 views of Wellington, and I love it because you can see the whole city. You can see the Wairarapa, the Makara, you can see the South Island. From one angle, you see the whole city, and then you turn, you've got farm and rural land and the South Island. Like it's incredible. My mum has often talked about if she were to have her ashes scattered, she would want to be scattered at Mount Kaukau, and I completely see the appeal. It's very therapeutic just going up there by yourself, listening to music. What I like to do actually is at the bottom, because you're near a creek, I actually take off my headphones and I engage in the real world and I just listen to the creek sounds. It's really comforting to me. It's just such a beautiful place. I'm currently at my primary school. Funnily enough, this was my year 4 classroom. I have mostly happy memories here. I was bullied. One crazy thing is I remember probably starting from like year 4, so I was about 8 years old, until maybe the end of year 5, so 8 till 9 years old. All I wanted, if I had one wish, it would be to be popular. You literally have 60 people in your year group. Who are you trying to impress? What do you mean? Oh, all I want to be is popular. Girl, have another wish. Think of something else. On my first day of school, I don't know if this is common for everyone, I forced my poor mother to stay with me the whole 6 hours of my first day of school. She was not leaving. She was locked in. Whether she wanted to be or not, she was locking in for me. I wonder whether she did have to go to work that day and was just like, well, guess I'm, hanging out with 5-year-olds all day. Or if she had taken the day off because it was her first day of school. Her first day, my first day. I find it insane to think about that I finished primary school 11 years ago. 11 years this year. I do not feel like I finished here when I was 10 and I'm about to be 21. That just doesn't make sense to me. I remember constantly feeling really lonely in school. That's why I really wanted to be popular. It's so stupid to say, but it's true. I did feel super duper lonely. I had friends, I just felt like they didn't like me. A lot of kids were mean to each other and to me. My parents told me that they had a parent-teacher conference with my year 6 teacher, so I was 10. And they were like, oh, Jane talks about feeling lonely and having no friends. How do you think she's doing from a teacher's perspective? And my teacher, I will get this tattooed on me. My teacher goes, if my class was a bucket of Janes, my life would be so much easier. No one in their right mind would say that. Something was on with this man. Honestly, that was probably my favourite teacher ever. It's crazy that when I was a kid, in my head I was like, I'm so annoying, no one likes me. Whereas this teacher was like, oh, my life would be so much easier if everyone was like me. Which, I don't know how true that is. Currently, I'm at my intermediate that I went to. So I started when I was 10. I had just turned 11 a couple weeks into the year. By the time I finished, I was 12. I think intermediate is the New Zealand equivalent of middle school. I absolutely hated my time here. I would actually rather slam my tongue in a car door than repeat those 2 years. This was where I first realized that I was queer. Some of my friends were also queer and going through the same period of finding yourself and finding your identity. We were made fun of for it. We were bullied really badly for it. And looking back on it as an adult, it's like, who was teaching these kids these behaviours? For reference, people made up a rumour that me and my queer friend did the deed in a classroom, which is insane. I felt like the teachers didn't really care either. I like to think things have changed now. My mum told me one time that she came to drop me off at school. I had been off school for 2 weeks because of how badly I was getting treated and bullied. So she goes to drop me off at the front gate, and I'm in the car and I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm sobbing, I'm in hysterics, and I'm going, Mummy, please don't make me go back to intermediate. Please don't make me go to school. And she tried to encourage me, tried to be like, you can do it, you can get through it. I wasn't having any of it. I was like, no, I can't do it. And so mother did a U-turn and we went back home. And she said that she used to genuinely feel guilty whenever she would send me to school here, which is so sad because I should have felt safe and welcomed. I think because of the things that I went through, I made some really good friends who I'm still friends with to this day. I remember at the time I felt like I didn't have a lot of friends, but I think about the current friends I have now from my school days, and a lot of them I met at intermediate. So I guess these 2 years had their pros, but mostly their cons. It was the biggest waste of 2 years of my life. I genuinely think that I was smarter in year 6 than I was year 8. I'll just leave it at that. This school was fucked up in the sense that if you weren't sporty or good at sport or had any interest in sport at all, you were uncool. You don't like sport? Why do you go to the school? Get out. I feel like now, judging by the way the school is decorated and posters and signs that I see around the place, if 12-year-old me went here now, I would fit in so much better. It seems very queer-coded where, being queer is now the majority. And I think if that was the case when I went here, I would have had obviously I would have had a completely different experience. And I wish I had that when I went here, instead of just being treated like a punching bag by people. One of the most traumatic things that I think has genuinely ever happened to me was in year 8, so I was 12. And there was a group chat made that I was in. In this group chat, I mentioned the girl that I liked. Ooh. I was just telling my friends, if you're watching this, you peaked in intermediate and you will never amount to anything in your life. So I'm telling my friends about the girl I like, and I name drop her. That was my mistake. I should not have said her name. Because what did my friends do? They added the entire class to this group chat, and everyone knew. Everyone knew about my silly little crush. And when I tell you that I was just waiting for the world to suck me up, every time I crossed a road, I was like, hope I get hit by a car. This was such a horrible thing to go through. Be betrayed by people who I thought were my friends in this sense was just horrible. I think it definitely gave me trust issues. Still to this day, nearly 10 years later. Being back here, my heart rate is 9,000 beats per minute. I'm trembling, knees get weak, palms sweaty, mom's spaghetti. I do not have many happy memories here. It served me nothing. High school, oh yeah, best 5 years of my life. is what I would say if I was a liar. I have very mixed feelings about my time at high school. I made some really good friends who I'm still friends with to this day, but at the same time, I was pretty badly bullied to the point where I nearly dropped out for my final year because I just didn't think I could handle it. If I can find it, I'll put it here, but there's a photo in my Snapchat memories of me before school starts in tears going, I cannot do another year of school. And that was because I was getting bullied and I just didn't think I could do it. When I look back on it, sometimes I'm like, oh, you're so dramatic, like it's not that bad. But then I think about how I felt in the moment. I was terrified to come to school. I don't blame her for not wanting to finish her time. But when I look back on it, I am really glad that I pushed through, got my NCEAs, got UE, university entrance. I'm really proud of younger Jane. Even though she thought she couldn't do it, she did. You go, girl. A memory that I have in this very area, that's my old music classroom, which is where I was very creative. I spent a lot of my time in high school in those very classrooms. And in the changing rooms behind me is where I went into diabetic shock one time before PE. I was doing my class a favour because I don't know if anyone felt like playing touch rugby that day. And then there was a medical emergency and everyone just got a free pass to talk about what had happened. You're welcome, 10 PMR. It was kind of the same thing as primary school. I think I did have quite a few friends, not to toot my own horn, but I also just felt so lonely at the same time. It's such a weird feeling. I feel like I will never be able to explain it, how it sounds in my head, but I hope you kind of get the gist of it. Some of my fondest high school memories are my form teacher admitting in front of the entire form class that I was her favourite student. I love you, Jean-Ann. My year group was by far the worst, most toxic year group the school has ever seen. Everyone was beefing with each other. I don't know why, we just had so many cliques in my year group here, so many personality clashes. But one moment where we all came together in unity was for our year 13 leavers assembly, where everyone was so drunk in that hall right there. I'm really proud of us for all coming together eventually, even if it was the very, very last day of school. I remember feeling really stupid coming to school because I was never good at anything like maths or science. I was good at creative subjects like music and drama, media studies and English as well, if you want to count those as creative subjects. But I felt stupid because I wasn't good at maths or science, but I was so good at all this other stuff, but I felt like it just kind of got swept under the rug. People didn't appreciate the kids who struggled in STEM area but excelled in the arts and creativity. I really hope that's changed by now, because that definitely took a toll on my self-confidence and my self-worth when I was learning in an environment where good grades and academics are praised. And when I did tell someone about a good grade I got, they would tell me it didn't count because it was in drama or it was in music. And when you look at the curriculum, it's actually pretty freaking hard to get a high grade in those subjects once you start doing it for NCEA. All I'm saying is that some of the STEM kids couldn't get an excellence in a drama monologue. We are on the main steps of my university campus. I stayed in Wellington for university, studied at Massey University. I got my Bachelor of Screen Arts, majoring in film production. Being at university led me to meet some of my bestest friends. Doing this course at university really did change my life. I met some of the most creative people that I think I will ever meet. I felt so inspired, so lucky to have had a hobby in school that I was able to study and able to get a potential career out of, we hope. I've loved my degree. It is really fun. It's hands-on. Get to be as creative as I want. I made some incredible films last year with some incredible people, and even the years up before then, even though my stuff from my first year, safe to say it wasn't very good, I will not be showing it ever. My enjoyment with the degree has not always been linear. Many times I lost motivation, but I'm so proud of myself for sticking through with it, and I really hope that I do end up getting something out of it.